outfit.
Had to bring in the big bad monkey. So there
I
you
like
go.
it fits in. A bunch of monkeys here, yeah. And we're live here at the Station of Decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by a lot of fine fellows here because we're counting down the Severed Limbs Film Festival 9. I'm wearing the shirt Beaster Bunny. That'll be this Saturday. Free festival, one night only. So come and join us. Interactive chat room. A lot of fans, a lot of filmmakers will be there. It's been a lot of fun. I started doing them during the pandemic and kept going because it's been a lot of fun. And it's cool because you get to see stuff you might not get to see otherwise, and familiarize yourself with some new filmmakers, and filmmakers like yourselves get your stuff seen by a new audience. It's a win for everybody. So let's see who's we got Brad Case here.
Howdy.
From Wanna Play a Game. It's good to see you. Eric Poe. He's one of our regulars at the Severed Limbs.
Yep, I think I was in the first couple of Severed Limbs, so good to be back.
He set the tone. He had a very fun animated one in the first one.
I did.
And this time he's got I Heart Valentines, which is very cool. Church Jackson. It's good to meet you.
Hey, everybody. Am I still allowed to be on here? I have all of my limbs.
You for now, but when you leave, we'll find out.
I got spares.
Oh, there you go. Beware the candy snatcher, which is another. All these are. Kenneth Perkins.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Neil, for having us on, man. This is awesome.
Thank you for doing it. Of Lily, which we'll be talking about shortly. Doc Vidal. It's good to meet you.
What's up?
Of Mr. and Mrs. Kill. I might have it as Doc Vidal's Mr. and Mrs. Kill, but I've been told
I only put that for so it doesn't get confused with Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I just put that in there.
I understand. And Jerry Williams here. We've got Captain Jerry Williams of Zeus the Convict and the Space Monster.
Hello, folks. How are you guys doing?
Very good. So we're gonna go around here, and everyone will go one at a time. Give like a quick explanation of what your film is and if any inspirations for it. We'll start with Brad.
What's up? First off, thanks for having me. My film is Wanna Play a Game. It's a home invasion film that I've been trying to get made for like 7-8 years. I ran into a lot of problems between finding a cast, crew members, and I wanted to go big and bad with tons of FX and stuff. And it just never worked out. Well, finally, I teamed up with a guy named Brian who did all the audio and music, did a phenomenal job scoring it. And he helped me make the film come to life. It's basically a brother and sister that kidnap married couples and they play a sick, twisted game of survival with them. So it's a lot of fun. It was a great experience. We had a great cast. Everybody involved did amazing. And I'm really excited for people to see it. I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about doing this is a lot of different tones of the different movies and also different levels of filmmakers, and it's fun to watch different stuff. Yours is definitely one of the darker films in the film.
I appreciate that. I noticed that when I was checking some of the other stuff, I was like, yeah, I definitely think mine's a little bit darker than the other ones. Everything I watched looked great. Everybody's films look awesome. Cool. Like, congrats to everybody and props. I'm excited to watch them all on Saturday.
And Eric. Sorry. Go on. Go on, Church.
No, I was just going to say, his was the only ones that I've watched so far. I'm saving the rest for Saturday, but his is fantastic, and I loved it. I wanted to let them know that.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Eric, give us an idea of what yours is about.
Well, it's a 5-minute short film. Kind of wanted to do a little bit of a creature feature. It's about a male lady who doesn't have a date for Valentine's. She's on the phone with a friend or sister or something. So kind of goes from there. She doesn't want her sister or friend to hook her up with somebody because she doesn't want a man following her around. So I don't want to say too much more.
Sometimes you can't say too much. 5 minutes, you don't want to give too much of the short away.
Exactly.
But I like a lot of these films, great locations.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was great. We had some people nearby have a farm, and they let us use it, and we filmed everything there. So it's great. It was really nice, convenient location where we could do everything for that.
And Church, let us know about Beware the Candy Snatcher. Uh-oh, you might be muted.
Oh, sorry about that.
There you go. No problem.
Beware of the Candy Snatcher is kind of hard to like discuss without giving much of it away, plot wise.
A lot of shirts are.
Yeah. Basically, it is about trick or treating. A little girl going trick or treating, and it goes very, very awry with a urban legend called the Candy Snatcher. I was shot over the course of like maybe 12 hours with a couple of my friends. Brett Kubanek co-directed it with me. He edited it. I can't pronounce the word. He chopped it up, put music to it. My buddy Ian did the score for it. He was fantastic. It's inspired by stuff like trick or treat, or like any love of Halloween, the horror and gross things. Like that's all it's about. It's very punk rock. It's it.
Yeah. Kenneth, what about Lily?
Yeah, Lily was actually just a challenge film. I'm in the Southeastern Filmmakers group, and the challenge for that month was dance. You had to have some kind of dance in your video.
Interesting.
And I can't write anything that doesn't go to the dark side. So it's basically just a couple standing over a crib with a newborn baby, talking about how lucky they are. And they twist the mobile, they wind it up, they start dancing to it, and then it just, some other people show up and it kind of goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
So without giving it all away, but
no, that's I like how it came about. I think sometimes something like that, it kind of forces you to use your creativity to write something you might not have normally.
That's what I would write. I can
well,
only go dark.
I mean, maybe not.
I can only go dark now.
Sure. Fair enough. What did they think of it, by the way? If it's all supposed to be something about dance, and you have it's very dark.
I think a lot of people were surprised. I had a lot of questions after it was over. They want to know how we filmed it, how long it took, and it was like over 5 hours. I got lucky because I was able to get 2 really good actors on board, and they were down once they read the script. And mostly, yeah, I think I had a lot of people surprised, but some were not because they're used to me doing dark stuff where limbs are getting chopped off or whatever. I think they're used to that from me by now.
Fits right in here.
Exactly. That's why I love it.
Doc, let us know about Mr. and Mrs. Kill. It's one of the more stylized films.
Yeah. Let's see. It's primarily supposed to feel like a Twilight Zone episode. So it's in like an alternate reality where it's like an alternate 1950s, and there's a game show where people write to the game show to tell them why they believe they deserve a chance to be on the game show. And if they are chosen by these kind of faceless anonymous panelists, they get to star onto this game show that six them against each other, basically to kill each other off, and then the last one gets a cash prize. And so you have a bunch of these not stereotypes, but these very 50s kind of characters doing very like grotesque things that you don't normally see them doing, and they all have very good motives as to why they should get the money. So it's kind of, you have to kind of decide who you think really deserves the money, I guess. It's only like I think less than 20 minutes, but I had submitted it for a film festival, and they had like requirements to be under a certain amount of time. It has to be a certain length, so that was what we had to work with, was 19 minutes.
Okay. Was there ever a longer version or something you would go back to? No, because I actually storyboarded the entire thing first, and we got every shot like per like storyboard, so everything seemed to fit in. We cut some stuff out just for it was just dragging the story, so we just kind of cut some things, but other than that, I think it came out the way it was supposed to. By the way, Church, you play a great creep. Jerry Williams, Zeus Atomic and the Space Monster. I think the name just explains it all.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a kind of a spoof of the old 50s sci-fi shows. And I do a little show called Astro Space Hero, and it's more G-rated. And what happened was a lot of actors will send me footage, and they'll send me footage I can't really use because it's G-rated. and they'll send me footage like shit, fuck, piss, and I'm like, well, I can't. I love it, but where do I put it? So I came up with a character, Zeus Atomic, and he's one of the lines that I put in one of the films is like, I don't have testosterone, I have space testosterone, that kind of thing. And kind of, very silly 50s sci-fi cardboard set kind of films.
Yeah,
and
no, it's very fun.
Yeah,
it's good. You could watch something really dark and you're feeling bad and you're like, oh, now I can watch Dr. Zeus.
well, I mean, hopefully your fans will like this. You're like, what the hell, Deal? What's going on?
Well, to me, that's kind of the fun of horror is kind of a subjective. What's horror?
Yeah.
I like a mixture. I like something silly. I like a big gore fest. So I like all different types of horror.
Yeah. Oh, I love the comedy in like films like Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 and that kind of thing. I'll swallow your soul. I love that.
That's a good quote. I swallow your soul. I love that. Yeah. Matthew Mark Hunter with Lord's Ladies and Easter Massacre.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. And can you give us an idea of what we're in store for with both films?
Yes, Easter Massacre and Lord's Ladies both are very bloody in their own different types of ways. Lord's Ladies actually was shot on a VHS camcorder, and I edited the film on a VCR to DVD converter and then finished it on the computer. So it's going to be very box-like for the footage, and it came out really cool looking for the VHS style. And it's with 5 ladies sacrificing a guy to the Dark One, and they do a lot of gruesome stuff to him outside. And then Easter Massacre has a bunch of friends, and one of them is going to be the killer, and we have to find out who the killer was. And it's another sweet kills in it also.
And it was nice that we actually have an Easter themed short film in the Easter festival. And I don't think you see a lot of Christmas horror and obviously Halloween horror, but there's other holidays out there people can make some horror films about. Arbor Day, Easter. Not enough Thanksgiving films out there.
Patriots Day.
Exactly. And Terrible One Troy is here with us.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
That's
Good.
what we like.
Solid.
Great. Good to see you, Troy.
Yep. Nice to see you.
So, Brad, I had a question for Want to Play a Game. Is Rob Zombie a big inspiration of yours?
Yes, definitely is. I get a lot of those comments. And some people say he's too much of an inspiration to me because some people have their ideas about him. I personally think he's a great writer and director. And now I will say I'm not a fan of all of his films. Like, wasn't a fan of what he did with Halloween, but I absolutely loved House of 1,000 Corpses, 3 from Hell, and all that. Loved 31, and I even loved Lords of Salem, which a lot of
Lords of Salem is my favorite also.
Nice. I think it's one of his best movies, and I like that it's so different.
I like it too.
I think the problem with that film is it came in at the wrong time. It's a cult classic film that would have done phenomenal in the 70s.
Exactly.
Ready for that kind of stuff
I
now.
dug it. Yeah.
It's a Dario Argento movie made by a madman that loved like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's all that movie is.
And it's hard, I think, for fans who want to just see similar things from him to see something different.
Exactly.
Right.
It's ridiculous that people go, hey, all he does is rip off, TCM and this, that, and the other thing. He does something completely avant-garde and different, and they shit all over him. I'm sorry if we can't curse. I apologize.
Oh no, it's fine.
But,
yeah, it's fine.
all right. But yeah,
like House of 1,000 Corpses is amazing. Like, I love the editing and the tone of House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah.
I think just the way it was shot, the imagery, and the whole thing is just amazing. I mean, it really is always just kind of stuck with me. That's why I like all the bizarre color schemes and things in my film.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just always been something I strive for, and I do all my own editing and coloring. So I try to take a lot from the stuff that I watch that it's impacted me and put it into what I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Eric, had you ever done a fight scene before?
I have not. That was actually I Heart Valentine's was I will admit was only my second movie. So my first short was Incubation Period, which also played on Severed Limbs 2, I think. Anyway, and so this was really my first fight scene, and I was still kind of very new, and I really haven't done any fight scenes since then either. So I guess I have to admit that.
Yeah. So what was that experience like? Filming your first fight scene?
It was fun. I mean, we're trying to figure out on the fly how to catch these shots that we needed without actually showing, too much fighting going on. But it also helped that it's kind of a comedy, so it didn't have to look, pristine and necessarily realistic to an actual fight going on. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the Scarecrow looks very creepy, which I think for horror comedy, the horror still has to work.
Yeah, well, and we did with the Scarecrow. I had a basic idea of how I wanted this mask, and we built the mask. My friend Dan Beck, who's part of the Wages of Sin group that I'm part of, and my wife actually helped kind of figured out how to make this mask for us, and I wanted it to look more realistic. We'd done some other Scarecrow things that were less formed burlap, which is what this was. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. It worked out well, and several people have made comments on the Scarecrow itself.
I think a Scarecrow normally looks cool. Church, not to spoil anything, but there's some really nasty puke in your movie.
Absolutely. So I'm never going to give the answer if it's real or not. That's just not.
I wasn't going to even ask that, but I was going to ask what was in it. But if it's actually real, I don't know if I think I want to know this.
No, everybody asked if it was real or not, and because there was a couple shots that look quite real. I'm never going to reveal that. But what was in it, whether or not I ingested it first or not,
I was happy to see candy corn in it. But yeah.
Absolutely. The original name of the film was Candy Corn.
Oh, okay.
And then it turns out that Fright Rags made a film called Candy Corn.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I like it.
It is really good,
Yeah.
actually. Actually, we used the bucket we use in the movie was an homage to the bucket in Candy Corn. But the vomit was just, honestly, it was candy and sugar and it was tea, like sugary tea, to give it that really thick, gross consistency. That was about it. Like I think I might have used a little bit of egg, but yeah, nothing special.
No, I'm just worried. We're curious. Like, do you go and search like how to make puke, or is this just something you create on the fly?
Puking is a habit I've had since I was a child.
Oh, well, I'm sorry if I brought up a bad subject.
No, it's not. It's just a running joke. There's more photos of me vomiting than there are pictures of me smiling.
Have you ever see Draws, the wrestler, in Beyond the Mat?
Yeah, Draws. He's gonna puke.
Right.
Yeah, I love Draws. But yeah, it was I don't know. I kind of we whipped it up together. I was like, I had an idea of what would work, and just it worked.
Yeah.
The amount of planning we did for that is shockingly little.
Well, it came out very good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Kenneth, the gore in Lilith is great. There's some great dead bodies, and so who's in charge of your gore makeup?
Yeah, I did. I did everything. Had a little help from the wife. What we did was we took a watermelon when she comes down in the fire poker scene, and I shaved the top of it, and she actually really hit it in my bedroom, and we put blood in there too. Watermelon went everywhere, and I didn't cover it, in plastic. As far as her face, I had a couple eyeballs left over, and I put one up there. We put some watermelon, dripped some blood down, and just made it work because it was like a 5-hour shoot. So, and by the way, I've never wanted to see vomit more in my life, Church.
Yeah, you really sold the vomit.
I'm ready for Saturday.
Thank you. I promise you, but by the time you watch that film, you'll be like, I'm done. Fuck that guy. I'm done.
I'll probably ask for another one. Let's do a sequel. But
I'm working on it.
But as far as the effects are concerned, I had about a day or two to prep, so I'd already thought them all through. So we had already kind of planned on what we were going to do, and we just threw it together on the fly.
Something else I liked about Lily is it's open-ended on both sides. It just kind of starts and then there's an ending, and the world keeps going. And I like that. You could do that, I think, more often in a short than like a feature, but it really works.
I appreciate that. That's
I wanted to point out also, just because I think it's fun trivia, is that the mail lady in my movie is the woman who is killed in Kenneth's movie.
Oh,
Right.
really?
It's the
That's
same.
awesome.
That's very nice.
And she's uber talented. They all are. They all did such a good job. It was actually easy for me. I kind of pointed the camera and went with it. So it worked.
Very cool. Doc, so we get to see Trista Robinson, treacherous Trista here without your head with a katana in Mr. and Mrs. Kill. Was this is this how you met Trista? Was this first time, or did you know her before making the film?
Actually, I met her through a small theater. We did a show together, and we just kind of, everybody on that show seemed to stay friends, so which is not usual, but Trista was one of the people that I stayed in contact with for like up until now. Maybe that was like 6 years ago or 7 years ago, something like that. And I definitely wanted her a part of this film, and I wanted her to have kind of like a over-the-top, grandioso personality, and really, her whole character is trying to prove herself because she's so small and so delicate and petite, and she's kind of like in that age where she's just fed up with everything and she wants to win this money and quit her job as a school teacher. And so and then she runs into a couple of her students in the show that actually signed on, so you have between them, but yeah, she was really easy to work with. Like everything I asked of her, she like pretty much sold it. So working with her.
Yeah, and I just love the whole presentation of the film, and great score as well.
Oh, thanks. it was just an online. I searched for what was it? Where there's an artist that does like soundtrack stuff for people without needing
A license.
There you go. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. License, yes.
You're good.
Yeah.
I knew you were going. I've used a lot of those sites. Darren Curtis is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people watching this would that's probably a good advice for them.
Yeah, no, I mean he does a whole collection of them, and I've seen them even on TV, like commercials and stuff like that. Kind of the same soundtracks that I've come across. So I mean, it's you can tweak it, and you can do different stuff with it, mix them up, and create something different. So I mean, it's not necessarily have to sound exactly the same as downloaded. So there's always something there, but I wanted it to have a kind of a specific, very specific sound, and I'm not a musician, so that was my best bet, I guess.
Yeah, totally worked. Jerry Williams, great backgrounds in Zeus Atomic. How much work goes into making all the backgrounds and the stuff?
Just little things here and there. I try to avoid green screen as much as I can because it's always easier to set up a photo drop. And I'm actually going to try to do some more planet backgrounds and stuff. With the getting to what you guys were talking about music, I actually did the theme song for Zeus Atomic a cappella because I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't have any. My daughter had left all of her Barbie dolls on top of my guitars, and I was too lazy to move the Barbie dolls. I was like, I'll just make up something, So when you hear it, that's an a cappella song I just whipped up for it.
Well, I think that's very fun, and I hope people like it. Like you said, it's definitely different from some of the other stuff we show, but
I find it fascinating because I actually want to see that short with the puke too, because I actually drink tea all the time. So now I'm like, shit, I've got to see this, man. So
is it weird that
I
I'm
wanna see that
really
one.
I'm stoked to see yours too? Like the totally opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm like, I want to see the innocent, sweet thing, and you're like, I want to see the disgusting thing that's going to make people hate themselves.
I want to see the head smashing the watermelon scene too, because I want to see that. Because
I'm thinking Severed Heads 10. It might be like all puke movies if we can. God, I don't know.
That's my goal. Is I want to start in a whole genre. Well, technically, I didn't start it. This dude named Lucifer Damien or
Right,
something started it.
Vomit
But-
gore.
Oh God, slaughter
but-
vomit dolls.
But my shit actually has a story. So like,
It does.
I thought that was a love story.
who knows? That
Yeah,
guy's a weirdo.
and
Yeah,
Matthew
he's
Mark
scary.
Hunter. First of all, I like that your company, you talk about you love 80s style. And I think sometimes people confuse that today where it's just like a bunch of nostalgia. We'll show Rubik's Cubes and stuff. But for you, what is 80s style horror?
A lot of it is where we'll have like the blood, but then the 80s part will have like weird type of creatures sometimes. And we don't do any really we don't do any visual effects. It's all practical effects, practical blood, practical monsters. We very stay away from all CGI stuff. And then sometimes, like in Lord's Ladies, we'll record on a VHS camcorder, edit on a VCR for a real authentic 80s feel instead of just throwing a filter over the footage later
You
on.
can tell that too. Not nothing against the filters, but you could tell when it's especially people who edit, I think a lot with the basic programs can tell, even if it's like the default setting for the with the cracks and stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean the biggest part is we'll either have lots of blood and crazy stuff, and then it's just weird or stupid looking type of creatures with very, very like limited budget style things.
That's the fun of that time, I think, though. Even bad practical effects, I think, are fun, where I think bad CG is just bad.
Yeah.
There's like a charm to it. So we're gonna have the second group coming up here. This went by quick, but it would be cool to have everyone back on at another point. But let's go over everybody, let everybody know where they can follow you and what you're up to next. We'll start with Brad.
You can follow me on Instagram at gorehor197666.
Perfect.
And currently, I'm working on trying to put together my first personal feature. I've worked on a feature before where I was a producer with John Dugan, who played Grandpa Sawyer and
Oh, very nice. We're close friends with John. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. One of the sweetest guys I've ever met. So I'm working on trying to get my own personal feature done. But in between that, I got a couple little more small things I want to do just for fun.
Very cool. Eric.
Probably the best place to find out what we're doing. Wages of Sin, that's CINE, like cinema, Wages of Sin on Facebook and Instagram. And we do have a Twitter as well. That's not quite so updated, but yeah, the Facebook would be the best place to follow us, Wages of Sin, and you'll see what we're doing there.
Cool. Did someone mention you have a feature in the works, or it is done?
I do have my associate Dan Beck and I worked up a feature we filmed at the end of this past year. I'll say Kenneth came out to be an background extra for us.
Cool.
It was really the first time we had met in person,
Right.
and it's going to have Erin Brown in it. So she's our
Nice.
star.
Yeah,
It's
another
called-
former guest here on the show.
Yeah, it's going to be called Gracie. So look for it.
Church.
Hey, well, you can find me on Facebook at Church Jackson. You can find me on Instagram at Cheddar Express. It is spelled completely ridiculous. Cheddar is spelled CHEDDER Express, like a normal person. Same thing with Twitch. Church is Bad for You on Twitter, and also Cheddar Express on Twitter. I have a few feature scripts I'm working on selling right now. One I'm really getting close to getting off the ground called Young Boy, which is not a horror film. It's a coming of age tale about a brother who finds out that his father died, who he's estranged with. He has to go and take care of his new 8-year-old brother who he doesn't really know. And it's about a man coming to terms with the fact that his dad was a piece of shit when he was a child and was a great dad for his younger brother, and them dealing with that resentment and coming to terms with that. So that's what I'm working on now.
Very cool. Kenneth.
Yeah, you can find me on KP Filmmaker 3 on Instagram, or you can just punch in my name, Kenneth Perkins, on YouTube or Vimeo. And I got a bunch of short films I've made over the I've only been making films for 3 years. So over the last 3 years, I made about 7 or 8 short films. I just finished one that was pretty ambitious. It was set in 1999 on Y2K Christmas Eve. And so I bought all the props and everything. And it's basically about some fallen elves that were kicked out of the North Pole. And they come every year on Christmas Eve into your house and they eat your decorations, ornaments, whatever, to replenish their Christmas spirit. And if they get enough Christmas spirit in your house, they'll bestow a magical gift that Santa wouldn't leave. And basically, it's a horror movie. And it's 23 minutes long, and I'm really proud of it. I think we did a good job.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that
Sounds
sounds
awesome.
wild.
Good. Yeah.
I'm a big
I'm looking
fan
forward
of
to showing
Christmas
it,
horror. It sounds very fun. Sounds like it's
Appreciate
based
that.
on a true story.
It is. That's funny.
Doc,
Yes.
where can people follow you and see what you're up to, and what are you up to?
That's a good question. Nothing really at the moment. I've been really studying to kind of pick up learning how to create video games for some horror video games I have in mind. But at the moment, I don't have any film projects in the works, but I have a couple scripts that I have for potential like partners, because I partnered up with somebody to make my last film, and I like working to have somebody else to bounce stuff off of. So, but I mean, you could search my name on Facebook, Instagram. I'm all over the place.
All right, very cool. Yeah, and good luck with the video game stuff. I learned how to do pixel art during the pandemic.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Mine's 8-bit.
perfect time to pick up a new trade.
Yeah,
Lots of time.
very cool. Jerry.
You can find me on Instagram at Magicians of a Cookie at Instagram.
That's a hell of a
if you-
name.
Yeah. And if you want to find what I'm doing primarily right now, I'm doing Astro Space Hero, and I produce Dr. Tierney's Terrible TV,
Another great name.
which has Tucky Williams, filmmaker Tucky Williams, Todd Burrows, Mark Holmberg, and Astro Space Hero pops up on there. He's kind of like Gilligan or something. Oh, God, there's something over, but so I'm producing that, and it's kind of a learning curve. So definitely like, oh man, but yeah, Magicians of a Cookie on Instagram or on YouTube, just type in Astro Space Hero. Something will pop up.
All right, very cool. Very fun. Matthew.
Yeah, we have YouTube, MMH Productions. We have a lot of shorts and some features on my YouTube channel. Facebook, Matthew Mark Hunter, MMH Productions. Instagram, MMH Productions. We're working on like 6 shorts and like 2 feature anthologies over the summer. Right now, we have an Indiegogo up for Amityville Poo, Killer Poop 2, and Killer Poop 3, Night of the Living Poop. Back-to-back film. The first one's on YouTube, and the second and third one are going to come out. With that one, we just got Victoria de Mayer, part of part 3,
cool.
who was in a
multiple time guest on the show.
Yeah, she's been in the Killjoy series as Batty Boop, so she's part of the project now for part 3.
Hell yeah.
And then we just got someone who was in the Goosebumps TV show on, so we got a couple people joining us for that. So you can check out the Indiegogo for that and help us out, try to get our goal if we can. And then the other thing we're working on is a choose your own adventure film where you have to actually
really?
pick what the character does.
Oh, very nice.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
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 All right. Well, very cool. Thank you guys for doing this. We're gonna get the next one. I got some people saying they can't get in, but that's because I'm not taking them in yet. But
Quick, before we go off, can I say something real quick?
yeah, of course.
All right. Thanks for having us all on, and also Tanner, go to bed. Thanks,
Thank you.
Guys, appreciate
It's
it.
been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Good to see everybody.
You as well. Bye. See here. Letting everyone in. I'm gonna message everybody here. I know we're live here, but I'm not taking them in yet. But
Quick, before we go off, can I say something real quick?
yeah, of course.
All right. Thanks for having us all on, and also Tanner, go to bed.
All right. Let's see here. Jim McDonough's not being able to. Oh, here he is. All right. Thank you, everyone, for doing this. we're gonna go live. Well, we are live actually, but and hopefully some other people will come on in. So I'm sure some people will drop out.
Neil,
Hello,
how are you, pal?
I am great. How are you doing?
I made it in. I was like a little quirky, but I'm
Yeah,
here.
everyone went a little bit. We went a little bit late on the last one, so
That's all good.
yeah. I was gonna have all 18 people on at once, but I thought it would be
That would be
insane.
insane. Yep.
It would make me laugh, but I'm not sure if everyone else.
So how many folks did you have just now?
We had 8, I think, or 9.
Hey, you got me?
Someone is trying to call in, but
Yeah, if you need me to drop out, I can.
yeah, if you don't mind, Church.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just trying. Someone was trying to call into the show, but I can't. I would have to leave.
You can't go anywhere.
I know.
There's no escape.
I know this is really riveting right now for Ivan.
So how's the Cape weather down there?
Very
Fine.
nice. Right now. Troy can fill us in on that.
Yeah.
Oh, the weather, it's pretty nice today and a little cloudy. But
I'm
warm.
about 50 minutes south, north, I think, from you guys. Maybe 45.
All right. I'm just gonna send this link one more time, and then we'll just go, and hopefully these people can figure it out.
Is everybody here that should be, or
No.
are we missing somebody?
We're missing many people. But that's all right.
Oh no.
We've got a lot of good people here.
No.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll go around the board here. So we have Ben Roberts. Your house plants are screaming.
They are. That's correct.
It's
Good to see
very
you,
much.
Neil.
It's very similar to a Jim McDonough movie, but maybe a little darker. But it's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was my pandemic film. My wife and
I actually have that in my notes. I thought maybe it was, since it's you're like all the credits, and then the wife. Yeah.
Yeah, it was essentially just it was near the beginning of the pandemic, and just looked up at some house plants on a shelf, and I thought I would suck to be them.
I like how this came about. Yeah.
That was pretty much the premise of the film from there on
It's
out.
good inspiration, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty much just, if you were to invert the houseplant world and put a human there, how torturous and horrific it would be. And that's pretty much what the film is. And it's very bloody. It's very gory.
It is, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. And someone keeps calling me. If you're listening, don't try to call in. Just hit the Zoom thing. They're trying to add me into another Zoom meeting. I'm sorry but it's
You like Zoom, Neil?
Huh? But yeah, we're gonna go through all these. But your house plants are screaming is amazing, and now you're gonna look at your house plants differently. You might feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We have a few dead houseplants in the house right now, and it's like, oh man, how much did they suffer?
And we have Vanessa Ionta Wright of Rainy Season and Duck L'Orange.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. So give us an idea of Rainy Season, which people can go and listen to the other interview. But give us, if you haven't seen that, an idea of Rainy Season and Orange Duck.
So Rainy Season was actually my first film. It's a Stephen King Dollar Baby. And then Orange Duck L'Orange, if you're fancy, is our pandemic film. We did it over 3 states, never left our house, put it all together. It's a very ridiculous kind of, very early silent film style comedy.
Yeah, they're much different tone, both films.
Yes, yeah, they're about as far apart as you can get.
Right. That would be interesting if you tried to do both of them in the tone of the other movie. Like a different.
I mean, it would definitely, I think, lighten up Rainy Season.
But that's what I like about festivals in general, is I like that you get different types of movies. So you get one that's really dark, you get someone kind of silly, and we'll get a Jim McDonough movie that's not even horror. One of the judges like, why is this movie in here? It's not horror. And I was like, because I enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, very cool. and we'll talk more about these momentarily. Dustin and Tim from Bubba.
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for doing this. Can you guys give us an idea of what Bubba is?
Yeah, well, to start off, Tim's actually the director. I'm the producer. I created the Meat Hook Massacre franchise, and this is actually the TV series based off of that. The series of films has 8 films, and this is season 1 of the TV show that has 6 episodes. So I'll kind of let Tim explain a little bit of it to you.
Yeah, well, basically, I had great material to work with from Dustin. It's 6 episodes. It stars my wife and my buddy Roger and Matt. It's it's a slasher series, and it was a lot of fun to make, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. When did you guys realize that Bubba was a character that people liked, and so you make a series?
Well, it was interesting because toward the end of the movie series, because I actually approached him to direct this thing called Meat Hook Massacre Mayhem, which is part 8 of the franchise. And I was so impressed with his skills with it that I came up with the idea of having him actually helm the TV series. And at that point, I made an agreement to put out a box set. So there'll be a box set, Blu-ray box set of all 8 films coming out in a couple of months. So it was really good timing to have him do the show.
Cool. And Jim McDonough, give us an idea of They Used to Call Me Crazy.
You bet. So I had made my first documentary the year before called They Used to Call Me, well, I can't speak tonight, but hold on a second. Just bear with me. I think I have COVID brain. It is a real thing. I finally got COVID for the first time, by the way. I thought I was immune. They say there's the Neanderthal gene. You can't, you're basically immune to COVID. And however, there's one part Neanderthal gene where you literally get it really bad. So I'm like, I'm out and about. I've been vaccinated, but I'm out and about since I've been vaccinated. I'm not getting COVID. And there's a million kids. My youngest got it. I'm fine. Somehow, like a horror movie, went through the house. I got it last week, and I literally sometimes can't think straight. Excuse me. So my first documentary was a movie called My Darling Pet Monkey. I don't know, maybe you've played it, Neil. If you haven't, I'd love to submit it.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and I took basically a narration of a guy telling a story of him and his brother, having a pet monkey, which was based on a true story. So I'm sitting around during quarantine trying to figure out my next movie, and I had a lot of fun making that. And, I took a kind of like a sad situation where my dad had passed away, and previous to him dying, he used to tell us that he had a nickname where they used to always call him Crazy when he was younger. He wouldn't tell us why. He said, someday I'll tell you. And then we figured he'd tell us when we became adults, as we got older. And then finally we become adults, and we asked him, and he still doesn't want to tell us. But then one night when he one of the only, benefits and beauty of his passing is we had a long window kind of saying all of our goodbyes slowly, which, it was hard in a lot of ways, but it was a gift in its own way. But so one of those gift of nights, he had me and my wife come to the house and his youngest sister. And he basically started telling the stories of why they used to call him Crazy. And he had 45 minutes of audio of these wild tales. And I just took the, 3 of the stories, about 5 minutes worth, of when he was, stealing cars basically at age 14, 15, and 16. And I thought the stories were very funny. I had the audio, and I thought it was like really gold itself, his stories. And so I took that audio, and then I had my aunt who's an artist, my sister's an artist, my sons that are artists, my nephews, they did my nephew drew my father and his buddy, and my aunt drew all kinds of backgrounds, and my wife drew all kinds of stuff. She drew a million things like cars and landscapes and all kinds of stuff. So I had everybody do all kinds of art, and then I basically turned into one big kind of cartoon set to his narration. And it was I think it's a good story on its own. I think with all the art it works, and it was a very personal, almost kind of grueling thing. It took me 14 months, but I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I love it. It's and especially when the backstory and everything, it's very emotional. And a serious question about it, since it is so personal to you. Obviously watching it is going to be an experience, but what about when people talk about it? What is that like, good or bad? If someone, has good things to say, or if someone, has criticism for it?
So the first, because it was a wacky few years here with COVID and everything. And so the first time I watched it, I haven't had a lot of experiences watching it with the public like previous years with festivals. But the couple times I did, especially the first time, because I think it was the first time with the Shauna Shea Film Festival, Skip Shea's foundation that raises money. He's a great guy, and he raises money for a really cool cause. But that was my first time seeing a live audience, and it was the first time I make a lot of surreal, weird comedies, and they're usually sometimes uncomfortable if people are laughing in the old days, especially. But there was almost a joy in that, like almost like the kind of I love guys like Andy Kaufman, where he would kind of torture his audience. Like I don't do that as much as I used to, but there was always, that was kind of the stuff I'd make. And then as time gone on, I kind of got more into a little bit actually trying connecting with audiences weirdly. But so this was so unique, and it was nothing that I really wrote. And just hearing him tell his story, having strangers, like he worked for the phone company. He got his GED. He wasn't an entertainer, but he's a great storyteller. And seeing now him in these situations, then in the Brattle of Boston Underground, hearing an audience react, it was pretty cool. Because usually, especially my early stuff, I got a lot of virtual tomatoes and people give it a hard time. So it's kind of honestly, this one more than probably most, I think, is connected with people just because it's, there's no heads exploding. Most people have a parent. I honestly think this is one of the few ideas I've done that actually could sell. Like every family has an amazing story. And every family probably has an amazing storyteller. And if you just went and literally did whether web series, TVs or whatever, you could literally just do different families who have these amazing stories and then have that family gather to do the art. And the fun part too is listen, if it doesn't work for you, you might say, well, I disagree. But if it somehow works for you, you'll notice that there's no, they're all varying levels of artists, from 8 years old to 60. So there's not so that just sees meaning it doesn't matter. It could be a family with stick figures to Picasso. It doesn't matter. If the family puts it all into it, I think it'll connect. And I think a lot of people have cool stories out there that just haven't been told.
I think that's a great point. And real quick, before we get to the rest of them, someone here in the chat room is asking if this is an online fest. Yeah, Saturday is the actual festival. It's going to start at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. I think there's 28 shorts and a bunch of trailers, and it's free. So come and watch it one night only. It won't stay up, so you got to come and watch it. And Troy's got the shirt. I've got the shirt. A lot of the filmmakers will be there, and fans will have an interactive chat. It's always a lot of fun. This is our 9th one.
Fun.
Yeah. And there's a lot of a variety of different shorts. Even Vanessa's, her two are completely different, but there's some dark stuff, there's some gory stuff, there's some silly stuff, and there's some heartfelt stuff. So it's for me, it's a good mix. Ty Cheman, can you give us an idea of EVP?
Yes, and first, sorry guys, my cat will keep jumping up in front of the camera.
That's all right. We usually have animals on the show, especially when Trista's here.
Oh yeah, EVP is a short film. We shot it in one night. It probably took maybe 3 hours to do. We pitched the idea to each other, and it was all improv after. So it's kind of we set up the story, and then we just winged the rest of it. Timeline for editing, like I said, we shot it, and it was basically finished within a week. We released it online, and then it's been about 5 years. And then I started my Film Freeway account, mainly submitting around my feature film, Not Another Monster Movie. And we just started getting selections for EVP, but it's just an improv comedy about ghost hunting and the interview style to it. I was a huge fan of the show The Haunting, and we wanted to give it a comedic twist. So we just got together and shot something. We hoped everybody else liked it.
I enjoy it. I think I like the self-referential parody of all these ghost hunter shows.
Yep, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah, it totally works for me. Troy and I we never actually made it, but we were going to do a giant hunter show where we walked around town and searched for giants.
Yeah.
And never found any, just like all the ghost shows.
Yeah. You think if you were a deer hunter for 20 years, you might find a deer?
Right.
I'm maybe.
Yeah. No offense to any of the ghost hunters.
No.
Mr. Hatch here, Nicholas Hatch, one of I think he's a Severed Limbs original. I believe Severed Limbs inspired him to make films.
Oh yeah, I've made a few.
So this year, this month, you have A Handful of Pennies, Briefcase Paranoia 2, and Johnny Rocker Werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your process of making you make these all yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I just gotta get the idea and then I try to film it and stuff.
Well, it works out. I think people are having a good time watching them.
Yeah. Yeah. The werewolf one, I recorded those songs last year. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh. But, yeah.
Be careful there.
Yeah. But yeah, last year I recorded those werewolf songs and I've been wanting to do something with them and I put that together and I plan on making a couple more westerns.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
People watch them, check them out. They're very fun. So Ben, houseplants are screaming. So your wife did the animation.
She did, yeah. She also made the amazing, crazy, gory set, which I can give you a tour of one wall.
Yeah,
one of the three walls if you want.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
This is an insane movie. I assume when I was watching this that this had to take a long time to create.
So yeah, there's the back wall right there.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
if you see, there's like a lot of teeth,
I'll try to spotlight this.
a lot of chicken bones,
Yeah.
flesh lamps,
Wow.
and then a whole lot of painted insulation foam. So yeah, it's that's only one of the three walls. The other walls are just as gory, but they're in the garage.
Very cool. So how long did that take to create all that?
I mean, from start to finish, that was probably a year. I mean, because we do.
Guys, please. Sorry.
That's all right.
We do commercial projects, and in between, we would work on this film. So over the course of a year, we just did a lot of stop animation and stop motion. And Katie would animate the plant creature, and then I would animate the lights, so that I'd walk around in circles and move a light, a fraction of an inch, and then just go to the other one, and then just move that slightly while she animated the plant monster. So it was an interesting dance.
Yeah. So it's like old school stop motion.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. It actually kind of the look of it kind of reminded me of Snake Mountain from Masters of the Universe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like it's interesting because we filled the room with haze, and at first I was like, oh, it's going to be inconsistent, but then in the narrative of the film, it's technically not stop motion. It's technically a time lapse is what we were trying to create because it goes across many days.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up that smoke and stuff moving around like that worked perfectly. It was I don't know, it was a weird way of kind of inverting how maybe plants perceive time, but how humans would perceive time if they were taken care of by plants.
I love it. It's a very funny scene that when I don't want to give much away, but when someone's being carried across the room over many, many, many days. Now, have you ever read The Vampire Lestat? It's a weird question, but
I've not. No.
Oh, well, see that there's the old ones, the ancient vampires in it are like statues, but they move, but they're so slow they don't see them, and it actually reminded me a little bit of the plants.
Oh, that's awesome.
They'll come back like years later, and they'll be moved a little bit, but not very much.
That's really cool. I need to read that.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's 30 years ago or whatever, but let's see, Vanessa. So, how time consuming is to make a silent film?
Well, that one, it literally took us, I think, from start to finish 18 hours because the 48-hour film project was doing like a stay-at-home version. Right. And so some friends of mine in Michigan and a friend in Oregon, we were like, let's do it. So we applied and we drew silent film was our genre. And the things we had to incorporate was that it had to surround an anniversary. And I think that might have been it. And so we quickly wrote a quick little script, we told the actor out in Oregon what to do. We told the two in Michigan what to do. And I was like, send me the footage. I'll puzzle piece it together. And that's what you got. So it was a really fast one.
Oh, that's cool. How about the acting in it? Because I assume when you're doing a sound film, you have to have the actors have to act differently than they would in a normal film. They have to be more over the top and animated.
Yes. And that's kind of what I had expressed to them. I was like, it needs to be like really focused on expressions. If it feels like it's too big, go bigger. Because it works for that particular style. And then, once we added the music and all of the little kind of goofy sound effects, it's just so silly.
It's very fun. I like it.
Cooking show gone wrong.
Yeah. No, it works for me. And you mentioned that Rainy Season is a Stephen King dollar baby. And for people who aren't aware of what that is, could you explain that?
Sure. Yeah. He offers up a lot of his short stories that have not been commercially produced. And you can get the non-exclusive rights to adapt one of those stories. And you have, I think, once you're accepted and sign the contract, you have a year to write the script and produce the film. And you literally sign the agreement and mail him a $1 bill. And the caveat being that you cannot profit at all. You cannot put it up for public viewing anywhere. It can only do festivals. So, there's pros and cons to it, because it's great to be able to attach your name to his a little bit, but you can't really do anything with the film when you're done.
Right. I get it. Yeah. But it's cool to have it at the festivals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was my first time directing. So, to me, I thought maybe it would help give me a little bit of an edge to get some exposure and get noticed.
Unlike, now there are platforms where after the festival runs, it could go to YouTube, it could go to Shudder, could differ. But that is, once it's done with the festival run, it's just gone, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I'm, secretly hoping that someday he'll want to like package them all together and, put a special release out there for people to see these films.
Dustin and Tim, now Bubba's a series. Is each episode self-contained where you could watch one episode, or is it a large story arc, or I guess both?
No, it's a long story that takes place over the course of 6 episodes.
So when they see the first episode, they'll get an idea of what the whole series is, but you still get, you'll still get to see an arc.
Yeah, well, I feel like the first episode is pretty self-contained. It has a beginning, a middle, and end, and a resolution.
Had you guys done a series before?
I have. I produced quite a few of them, actually. Like I did the Tales from the Grave and Creatures and American Terror Tales. But Bubba was the first one based off of a film franchise. And like I couldn't think of anybody better but Tim to do it.
Yeah. Other independent filmmakers I've had on have said that's really like a good way to go for the future, since there's so many streaming sites and they all need a lot of content.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I actually have it worked out that they air on Fox on Friday nights. And so that's essentially what this was produced for, because then they also do like a YouTube broadcast at the same time. And so they showed over the last several Fridays on Fox 23 out in the South, and then we'll be able to watch them on YouTube as well. And tomorrow night is actually the last airing, and it's going to have Bubba's Dead and Meat Hook Massacre Mayhem, which is the film that Tim did, which led to hiring for Bubba.
Oh, very cool. Now, Dustin, when you started, it was mostly physical media. So how has that affected you? Obviously, you're making a lot of stuff. For people who don't know, he makes stuff constantly. But how has that affected you as a filmmaker? The rise of streaming and physical media is still around, but it's not as big as it was.
Well, you have to be able to cater to all of the avenues. My first movie was like at the end of 2006, and I've done 120 since then. And that's only because I've stayed with all of the different avenues, from streaming to VHS to DVD. I've done VCD releases, you do special editions. You want to cover all of the corners of the market. And especially with this genre that's very niche, there's people that want to collect special editions or want a specific version. And so you really want to be available everywhere everybody turns.
Mm-hmm. On that, the idea that physical media is like dead, do you agree with that, or you think there is still an option for that?
I think it's been dying for 20 years, but I don't think it'll be completely dead because there's always going to be collectors. And like I said, you always want to cater to everybody. I put out special editions of a lot of my stuff because there's going to be people that want to own a physical copy still. And so why alienate them and not make it available?
Jim, how long does it take you to create? You said this one took like 14 months.
Yeah, I think that it has so much to do with the type of film I was making, and also the fact that I have a regular job, full-time job. It's like, sometimes 50 hours a week. And so, just doing what I can when I can. But also it's mainly because it's animation. I'm really hoping to scale my time better with this feature where I'm hoping it's only going to take me 2 years versus, because if it took me 14 months to make my last, 5-minute movie, that's not good scaling.
When you're 75 or so, it'll come out. Yeah.
There'll be more animation than I actually anticipate, because there's all, like in the way that like Endgame and Star Wars movies have all kinds of, that kind of animation, but not like cartoon like this one,
Mm-hmm. I heard you have a really big A-list actor in talks to be in this.
Yes. One final thing is, I'm not trying to compare this the crap I made to Marvel Star Wars. Seriously, sorry, I'm embarrassed by that. But yes, there is a secret actor. I'd love to, if I can afford him.
Yeah. He's got some other stuff in the works, so he might be asking for the big bucks soon. I don't know.
Yeah. Can you get how do you get taxi, Uber, bus, train?
Oh, we'll work it out. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Looking forward to a pal.
Yeah. I like a horse-drawn carriage, I think
that's original roots here, right here. Yeah, they were all horse and buggy. That's why it's so ridiculous, all the streets and the rotaries and all the BS.
Let's see here, Mr. Hatch, Nicholas.
Hey, now.
Use a lot of the weather up in Maine. There's a lot of snow and stuff involved in your films.
Yeah, this time. Yeah, I take a good belly flop in the snow in one of those films. Yeah.
Do you write the films around that? Like, it's going to be you're in Maine. There's going to be a lot of snow.
Yeah. I was excited to make a snowy Western film. And then I want to make a couple more, and it's hard. Like, it was 50 below out, and I'm
in Eastern because it's in Maine.
Yeah. I'm way up there. Mm-hmm. I'm near the Canadian border, but yeah. And then I knew I had a couple fans of the first Briefcase film there, so I thought I'd try to make a second one, and there's some funny stuff in there. Yeah.
And you're amassing quite a few things here. You've got the doll in front of you. You've got mass. You've got a framed trophy there. You've got some type of I don't know if the weapons from a movie or if that's just something you do on your spare time.
Yeah. It's cold and boring up here. No, but what do I? Oh, hold on. Here we go. My look at that.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
My friend from Mass mailed that to me.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
By the way, Andrew Buckner cannot make it, but he's saying he's sorry, everyone. He's got 2 films that will be playing Cracked and The Spider Struts Sideways Down Serpentine Steps, and also Attack of the Blizzard Beast, and a trailer from MacGuffin Manor. So that will play Saturday. But he cannot get Zoom to work. So, Ty, I like the old school ghost in your movie. I like that you went with that for the look of the ghost.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. We were trying to think of like ideas for makeup and special effects and everything, and we're like, you know what, just throw a fucking sheet over him. Sorry for swearing.
But
cut out the eye holes and everything. Like, okay, let's go Scooby-Doo style on this. And yeah, I those were my ex's sheets. Wasn't my ex at the time, and it was my ex after. But it's for the film.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I also like that it goes in and out of focus, just like all the Ghost Hunter movies. At least I assume that was on purpose. I don't want to say you're a bad filmmaker and you're losing focus or something. But
so when we shot it was like in the early stages of my career. those who follow my stuff, I've really been working a lot with director Kristen Skeet in Buffalo. And this was like just before I met her, when I was kind of just starting to do short films. And ever since I started working with her, my career just skyrocketed after. But definitely EVP was a super fun one. Right now I am out west in Utah. I'm moving back to Buffalo. Because the short film is getting a lot of hype, we are talking about doing a sequel.
Oh, cool. I was thinking maybe I could even see it working as a series.
Hopefully. So
you didn't move out there and become a Mormon, or you don't have like multiple wives, or
no, not yet.
I'm glad you didn't, or else maybe you'd be offended that I asked that. I don't know.
Oh, no. But yeah, so far about 2 or 3 of the 5 people said that they'd come back for it. So
oh, nice.
Want to do it as a full group thing, or at least just like the investigators investigating a new house. And then obviously Muffin the dog would come back for it too.
Very good. All right. So we're going to go here and see where people can be followed and what they're up to. And I know the time flew here fast, but thanks everyone for doing this. And everyone can check out the festival Saturday. Ben, where can people follow you and what are you up to?
You can follow us at Dominar Films. That's DOMINAR. And that's what my hat is.
Yes, and I have a very cool Dominar Films shirt.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm going to wear it tonight, but then I felt like people think I was playing favorites.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that was, there it is right there. So if you see the Dominar symbol, you're following us. And what we're working on is hopefully another feature.
Cool.
I met Neil talking about my zombie feature. It feels like yesterday, but I think it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was long. Yeah, it was when Annabelle was still on the show.
It was Plague So Pleasant. It was a zombie film, and talked to you guys and had a lot of fun. And I was like, Severed Limbs. I got to enter that.
Yeah, I'm very happy you did. Not just because you're here, but I'm a big fan of your work, and I'm a big fan of zombie movies. But like most people, after a while, it's like I've seen enough zombie movies. So to make something
made enough zombie movies.
Yeah, that stands out though. You have to do something different, and that one stood out to me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I look forward to more of your stuff. I really think you and Jim would should check each other's work out. I think
I'm excited about that. That model's amazing. I'm excited to see your movie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Vanessa, and by the way, that you can listen to the show with Ben from a few years ago. We weren't video at the time. Vanessa, where can people follow you and what are you up to?
Yes, I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Creepy Girl with K. I run the Renegade Film Fest, so we've got stuff going on all the time at renegadefilmfest.com. And up next, I am developing my first feature, so I'm very excited about that.
I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah. It's going to be more comedy than horror, but lots of blood and lots of laughs.
Very cool. And I met, we had Vanessa on just a few weeks ago, so you guys can check out that interview. It was very fun. Trista set that up. And ever since, I've been interested to see more of your work. Dustin and Tim, what are you guys, if you can't ask Dustin what he's up to, he'll just list like 100 films, but Dustin and Tim, what are you guys up to, and where can you be followed online, not your homes?
Yeah, don't follow me at home, please. Yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Dustin William Ferguson, look for the blue check. I am just finishing post-production on the Apex Predators 2, which is a flying killer shark movie that had Vernon Wells in it. He was the lead. We're going to be having a premiere for that in like the next 2 months. I know that me and Tim have some other things brewing together, but otherwise I'll let him take over.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Timothy Thomas. And actually next up, hopefully I'm going to be making a found footage movie for Dustin, which I'm looking forward to. But real quick, before I run out of time, I just want to thank Dustin again for the great opportunity. He's a great guy, and I really appreciate it. My wife, Tina, my friend Roger, my friend Matt, Randall, Brian, and Marvin.
Oh, very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the Bubba series. and it's always fun talking to Dustin. And it's nice to meet you, Tim.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. McDonough, where can people follow you?
Yeah, so you can find me Facebook Jim McDonough, I guess, and Instagram Jim McDonough FNF, and same thing with YouTube Friday Night Films. On Instagram, you'll be getting to see slowly as I make this feature with as I make props myself, like for example the arm with the teeth, and as I slowly make this thing out of my house, you can follow the pictures as we go on Instagram.
Yeah, is your whole house like sets for films?
Yeah, there's a lot of sets here that I've been building. A lot of I'll use miniatures to build the sets, and then green screen to kind of to combination of the two, I guess you'd say, and then real actors. But yeah, so I'm using making all my miniatures for this. It's been a lot of fun.
Cool. And I always love talking to you, Jim, and it was good to meet you first time in a few years at Buff a few weeks ago.
Absolutely. It was a great time, bud.
Yeah. By the way, real quick about Buff, Boston Underground Film Festival. It was I actually think this is a good idea. Someone suggested I add underground to Severed Limbs, so it's Severed Limbs Underground Film Festival, and then I could call it Slough.
Oh,
I like that.
Maybe we'll go with it for number 10. I don't know. Mr. Hatch, Nicholas Hatch.
Hey, now.
How you doing? Where can people follow you?
Oh, Nicholas Hatch Films on YouTube.
Very good. And what are you up to? I know you, our mutual friend Michael Epstein made an IMDb for you.
Oh, that was nice of him. Yeah, I got quite a collection of films getting there. Eventually gonna get all those shorts together and then maybe start working on some feature films. And yeah, I got some stuff in the works.
Very good. I always look forward to see what you're up to.
Yep.
And Ty, where can people follow you and the kitty?
Oh, sorry, the wife.
Oh no, there's no need to be sorry about the kitty.
So I am, if you follow me on Instagram, it is Ty Cheman. So TYCHEMAN. Full name's Tyler. Everyone calls me Ty. Mainly I'm most active on there. I'm going to be making a link tree. So it is connected to all of the short films and features that are available to watch online right now. So everyone could start watching my work. The big thing that I'm doing right now is finishing editing our feature film, Little Green People. And that'll be premiering this summer. We're submitting to Buffalo Dreams and a couple other film festivals. That's where we met, was Buffalo Dreams.
Yep.
And yeah, we have a couple. Three of them did this.
And I love what I've seen so far of Little Green People.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a complete blast. I co-directed it with Kristen Skeet, and we have at least 2 more short films planned together and another feature to work on next summer.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited to, show everybody what we've been working on during and after the pandemic, kind of thing of putting this little sci-fi comedy together. So that'll be coming out very soon. Both of the trailers are online, and we have an exclusive sneak peek coming up in a couple days.
Excellent. Very cool. And Terry Zarchi here's in the chat, who has a film that will be playing this Saturday. He couldn't make it. He can't get the thing to work, but so you can check out Backwoods Diaries, Just Passing Through, which will be playing this Saturday. And anyway, a lot of people here are saying that they love the show and they're looking forward to Saturday. So thank you, everybody.
As am I.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Well,
what are you
everybody.
up to, Neil?
What am I up to?
Nasty Neil. What have you been doing?
Well, I've got a feature film in the works, and I just filmed another scene for it last night. And the Once and Future Smash, my first feature production with Michael Epstein and Sophia Cacciola, and it looks like it's actually gonna be finished pretty soon. And we're hoping to get it submitted to Fantasia and other festivals, and hopefully it will get out there later this year. We filmed it right before the pandemic, like literally a week before everything closed down. And so it's been on hold for a while, but it looks like it's actually going to be finished.
Awesome.
Yeah. Michael St. Michael's from the Greasy Strangler is in it. John Dugan, Grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Victor Miller, the author of Friday the 13th. There's all kinds of people involved, and me. All right. Well, how about yourself, Troy? What are you? Troy drew this, by the way.
Nice. That's awesome.
Cool.
I'm just kind of looking forward to Saturday, looking forward to the festival and have a big spiral ham on Easter. That's about
Well, there
it.
you go. I hope, Easter's coming up. Come and watch a bunch of crazy movies and then eat some ham.
Yep.
Nice.
That's my plan, you know.
All right. Well, it's been very fun. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Going back on again, maybe we'll do a separate interviews. We'll figure it out.
Oh, next time we'll have like 40 people. We'll just go crazy.
Let's do it.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, thank you so much.
Beaster Bunny Saturday. Night. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
I'm going to wave awkwardly while I hit end.
Bye-bye, Neil.